Mario and Sonic, two of gaming's biggest icons, the greatest rivalry since white bread versus wheat bread. We all know the story of Nintendo and Sega. Nintendo had a stranglehold on the video game industry, and then Sega showed up with their blue hedgehog and a lifetime supply of swagger and somehow managed to infiltrate the market before proceeding to flop so hard that their software would be playable in the belly of the beast. As someone born in 1998, I had no clue just how momentous it was that Sonic was available on Nintendo hardware, since I didn't know what a Sega was until it was too late. But yeah, these two characters are titans among mortals, so it's especially weird that their most prominent crossover is a marketing ploy for the Olympics.
Flight 29 for Vancouver, boarding in 15 minutes.
Anything in your pockets, sir?
So this is my third Olympic-related video, and I've hardly even acknowledged the Olympics. Let me tell you, I do not care about sports. I sit on my ass all day and will probably die of heart failure. No, but for real, the Olympics are a cool concept. Unite the world by competing against each other. How the hell is this still going on? You got the Summer Olympics, which is full of sports so simple high schools use them as extracurriculars, and then there's the Winter Olympics, where every event is the act of defying God. I don't go out of my way to watch the Olympics, mainly because whatever's getting broadcasted on TV is usually something boring, like, gee, great. Soccer. In 2016, all I'd see is table tennis, and to this day, I still have a tab open on my phone for Vladimir Samsonov, but 2010 is where things went crazy. Women's curling. I've never been more engaged in live television in my life. And that leads into today's review, Mario and Sonic at the 2010 Olympic Winter Games. This is the second time these characters have gone for gold, but this one takes place in the city where Diary of a Wimpy Kid was filmed, so I think it's excusable that we skip to the best game. The essential Winter Olympic sports are included: skiing, snowboarding, bobsleigh, skating, hockey, curling, and some of the variants that come with them all. Not a ton to pick from, only 16 in total, which is why having modes that incentivize playing them is important, and Festival delivers on that. Organizing the events into a schedule lasting 17 days, you'll get the chance to go for gold against Mario and Sonic All-Stars tournament style. And what's really neat about this is that the team events are split off into their own campaign. But before we get into it all, let's take a look at the character roster. I gotta say, this is perfect. When I think of main characters from 2010, these are gonna be the first 20 I guess, besides like Vector maybe. This game was actually my introduction to Silver and Blaze. It could have been a lot worse. A lot worse. Bold move putting a character named Silver in a game where you don't want Silver. We will Sona looking ass. And can someone validate me on this? Mario is taller, right? Like, it looks uncanny. But I'm gonna play solo with Silver, and for teams, toxic masculinity for the win.
Special team! Let's have some fun!
Festival is the only reason to boot up the game, but it can be pretty tedious at some points since there's training mode style missions in addition to competing in each event, and I can do without the repetition, especially since most of these wind up being identical to the events. Like in Ski Cross, you're just racing a chow down the hill, and it's gonna reach the finish line around the same time your opponents will in the real deal. Ice skating wants you to get a certain number of points or in a shortened version of the song you'll perform to. God, for curling, you literally need to get 2 points without an opponent. Sega has invented a task easier than dying, but for every 2 missions that are disappointing, you get 1 that's kinda alright. Speed skating is memorable since you're tasked with collecting every coin on the circuit, which is pretty challenging because the steering is impossible to control. And for hockey, an assortment of ice cubes you need to break with the puck are scattered around the arena. Yeah, I don't think any of these are praisable. Training should have stuck to being its own mode because in Festival, you'll be playing most events 3 times. And I'll explain the third later on, but the bigger crime is how often you have to race on the same slopes. This map here, between the solo and team festivals, you'll see it 10 times. Now, this got me a bit curious about the authenticity of the game and how accurate the maps are to their real-life counterparts. So I got a passport and flew all the way to Vancouver, and I can conclude that this game is pretty damn accurate. I was actually going to check because the baseball diamonds and residential area outside the Vancouver Olympic Center made me skeptical, especially since there's no snow. But if you plug in Google Earth, that's what these places look like. For some reason, my dumb monkey brain thought the locations would all be scrunched together like a college campus, but in reality, I'm just sheltered. And on the topic of landmarks, the Yo Mama sign, iconic. The point of me doing all this research is because I want to be mad that there aren't more hills to go down. Like, they can keep the real McCoys for the festival, but it would have been a treat if some fake mountains were terraformed for free play and training. So the Vancouver simulation, 100% believable. But how about the events? Well, I have some great news. This is hockey. There's not much to get into with the sports, since they do a pretty good job echoing their real-life counterparts at an aesthetic level, but motion controls are everywhere, and that's terrifying. Now, I don't want to label myself as a professional motion control hater, because I think gyro aiming is one of the best things to come out of it, but please don't make me steer with tilt controls, and on top of that, quit trying to be cute. Like, don't these remind you of ski poles? No! The motion controls in this game ride the line between working reliably and doing their own thing. Swinging the remote for speed and ice skating, phenomenal. Steering the skeleton, responsive AF. Trying to control my speed while skiing. And the best part is getting a twirly trick. I could stick the remote to a fan and get no response, but when I do nothing is when the game insists I want to eat shit. Short track relay is a joke. The game will simultaneously tell me I'm tilting too much but perfectly read my input, or it slows me down in the opposite direction like I'm getting set up for a Bradbury, knowing damn well a collision tumbleweed isn't in the code. I think you get the point with my complaints. The thing is, this game isn't even that bad, since I've left out the reason anyone should play Mario and Sonic games. Dream events. If you're going to make a crossover, interdimensional content is an absolute requirement. I want to play as Mario in the Sonic universe and vice versa, so seeing levels like Good Egg Galaxy and Radical Highway transformed into Olympic events is incredible. What makes these extra fun to play is how they alter the rules to the events. Skiing, snowboarding, bobsleigh, and speed skating act like Mario Kart, having item boxes to pull from and coins to collect. And they keep most of the stage hazards intact. Goombas, stone wheels, look at all those Eggman's robots. Curling is repurposed as 4-frame bowling, which is awesome to see since that's my favorite sport. Ski jump has you flying through space, collecting star bits for a high score. Ice skating casually spoils the final boss to Sonic Adventure, and hockey is Mario Strikers Jr. And on top of those, some fake sports were added to the dream events, like snowball fighting and dog fighting. When your game has fun levels like these, it's much easier to look past the less than spectacular controls. I thought the dream events were so good that basically this has become the determining factor for if I'll buy another Mario and Sonic game to release afterwards. Hell, forget the Olympics. Nintendo and Sega have so many iconic worlds to revisit that an entire game of sport level hybrids sounds super appealing to me. And that's not even the end of the Mario and Sonic content in the Mario and Sonic games. Every other day in the festival, there's boss fights, which is where the third playthrough of the basic maps comes in. What makes these different from the regular events is that you're required to win to progress, but none of them are all that challenging. There's a lot of missed potential with the bosses. Why not take advantage of the characters' abilities, or borrow ideas from their games to alter the sports? The race against Jet could have featured the wind streams from Sonic Riders, King Boo could have some vanishing gimmick, or be full of spooky decoy slalom gates. Rouge's ice skating could feature a spotlight in the dark as an homage to her stealth levels. The Dry Bones and Curling could have thrown bones onto the ice, blocking out places you could aim the stone, and Dry Bowser, the final boss, could have spit fireballs onto the rink and hurt you if you get too close to him. Without altercations like this, the fights are super forgettable. If Toad's simping for Rouge and his dialogue is the biggest highlight of the bosses, you screwed up. But actually, one boss did give me a challenge, but not in this playthrough. Back when I made Let's Plays on the channel, there was one game I had to scrap because I couldn't beat it. And that game was Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Winter Games. I kept getting my ass beat by Bullet Bill and Skeleton. Like, it finished around the minute and 6-second mark every time, and I kept falling short by a second or two. I must have tried for over an hour before pulling the plug, because it wasn't happening. And the concerning thing about it all is that I don't remember struggling here when I was younger and less coordinated. Maybe it's because Bullet Bill was 7 seconds slower. Yeah, I don't know why it was easy all of a sudden. Festival only has one difficulty, but it would have been cool if there were more. Alright, so ever since I got this game, playing it with a Wii balance board has been on my gamer bucket list, and I go to thrift stores. Balance boards have become more accessible than Guitar Hero controllers, but there's no way in hell I'm dropping more than $5 on one. For some reason their value in my city has doubled since the Wii U died, but I finally got this goofy tablet, and I've been waiting for this video to use it on Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Winter Games. The biggest appeal to me is using the balance board sideways like a snowboard. I remember seeing Tony Hawk Ride doing this kind of thing, and I've always wanted to try it out. And after a half hour of playing, this is without a doubt the worst thing I've ever done all week. I don't exactly understand how these controls operate because I think I'm leaning right, but the game disagrees. Like, am I supposed to smooth criminal forward to speed up, or do I need to tippy toe it? If your gaming accessory makes me feel like an 80-year-old who just got a computer, it's no longer accessible. But to summarize my experience, sometimes the controls worked, sometimes they didn't. I beat my record on Ski Cross with the balance board, and then 20 minutes later I couldn't stop making out with the wall. Dream Ski Jump was easily the most frustrating. I hardly understand the fundamentals of balancing while my character is on the ground, and it will definitely take me a while to learn steering in the astral chambers of the obedient foul embryo. Bobsleigh lets me play with my ass. If only I could get a woman to do that. There's some party type games if you're looking for multiplayer content. It's just the sports here, but your placement will determine how many points you earn or how many steps you can move on the skateboard. Nothing to sneeze at, and that's because Mario and Sonic games aren't among the first choices I'll make when I want to play Wii with the boys. But we did get this gem from the writers.
It looks like everyone has balls now!
And check out the Mii costume. There's a small degree of customization available, so if you really like Shadow but don't feel worthy enough to use him, get some help. Equipment like the snowboards and bobsleds can be customized with patterns, decils, and colors that are impossible to coordinate. You can also purchase trivia, music, a Christmas tree. Santa even makes a cameo when you play in December. But the highlight is the blue coin mode, which hides 5 coins in a few dream events for some extra replay value. To make another Tony Hawk comparison, this is like collecting the skate letters, but unfortunately they don't unlock anything besides some worthless achievements. The last thing I want to point out is the online features. If I remember right, you couldn't compete against strangers, but you could post your times to leaderboards. And then there's the wackiest use of online probably ever, which is being able to connect to the Wii's forecast channel to emulate the weather of your location or Vancouver into the game. Who asked for this? I definitely remember trying this out back in the day because the concept alone impressed me. And that's all I've got to say about Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Winter Games. It's a mixed bag of good ideas and bad controls. If you're looking for a skiing and snowboarding game, there's plenty of better options available, with and without motion controls. And while the dream events were an awesome inclusion, Mario Kart beats them all around. That being said, this game will appeal to the hardest of hardcore Mario and Sonic fans and the most basic of casual gamers. So when you look at it that way, I guess this game's a success. Thanks for watching the video, I hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to leave a like or so up the channel, grow, and subscribe to get updates on my uploads as soon as they happen. But until then, I will see you all next time.